So you seem like you're interested in asking her something here.
What do you want to ask
Oh,
me?
I want to, is it okay if we talk about how you were a stripper before you did porn?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I feel like you're kind of shy, you're a little bit nervous right now, but you were a stripper and you told me you're pretty successful at it.
Yeah,
Like,
eventually. I mean,
How did that go? Because I'm like, I can't imagine it right now.
Yeah, so whenever I started stripping, I just turned 18. It was the week that I turned 18. Before that, I worked at the Tilted Kilt, which is like Hooters,
Oh my god,
basically.
that's amazing.
But
I love that outfit. The girls look so hot in there.
yeah, I did that at 17.
Yeah,
Wow.
creep.
Yeah.
So I gotta be careful. Yeah.
That's also where I met my husband whenever I worked there.
At the Tilted Kilt.
Yeah,
I
Oh
love how
my
you
god, that
graduated
is so
from Tilted
romantic.
Kill at 17 to strip club at 18 right away.
Well, I was just
move up.
waiting like to be 18 so that I could become a stripper for some reason, which
But
is really weird.
Did you always know that about yourself, that you were comfortable enough with your body to put yourself out there like that?
I mean, I sort of just like hoped that I would grow up and have a nice enough body like to like do that.
So when you were young, you were like, you always knew that that was something that you were interested in?
Sort of. Like, I mean, I watched like The Girls Next Door, like a Playboy and like Anna Nicole Smith and stuff. And I sort of just like felt like, oh, they're so pretty and they have all this nice stuff. Like, I want to be like them. But I didn't necessarily think of like the sexual side of it or like what you really have to do to like be them. But I just wanted to be like them. You know what I mean?
Tilted Kilt was the entry point to like objectifying yourself for a living?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Way to go.
I didn't really realize that I was though. Like I didn't realize, oh, I'm wearing this outfit and guys are like looking at me sexually. Like I was sort of really dumb and naive at like 17, 18, 19.
Yeah, and that is why it's always weird when girls are like doing double anal at 18, is because it's kind of like, Jesus, like a lot of these girls do not know what the fuck they're getting into.
Yeah, you have no idea. Like later you're going to end up getting married and they're going to be like, well, you shoved 2 cocks in your ass. Like how am I going to take you seriously?
Did you have that issue with your husband?
So we were together whenever I first turned 18, then we broke up whenever I did porn, and then a year ago we got back together. And at first it was kind of difficult because then, you know, people would bring it up to him. He would go on Pornhub and look at the videos and get like really upset. And so basically I just had to be like, listen, if you want to be with me, you can't be nagging me every day about these videos. You know, it is what it is. So we had to move on.
Right.
But yeah, you know, it's difficult and he definitely doesn't like to think about it. Because I lost my virginity to him too.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is like your childhood sweetheart.
I mean,
Her Tilted Kilt sweetheart,
I was
babe.
18 and he's like 9 years older than me, but we just like have
Was he
like
a manager?
no,
Tilted
no.
Kilt? That would have been kind of lit.
No. He was at trading stock.
What was it like when you actually started stripping in comparison to what you thought it might be like?
I mean, I didn't realize that I could make so much money. Like to me at the time, I remember I was getting like $20 tips. Like they'd be like, oh, you're so cute. Like here's $20 or whatever. And I thought that that was so much money. And then I booked my first room at like the first night that I was dancing at the strip club and it was like $300. I was like, oh my God, this is so much money.
First room, like you just like rent a private room, like so you hang out
Well,
with
you,
guys
like-
for a
Well,
while.
We
or-
did at Miami. 11.
Yeah, you like pay the house for like a room that comes out of like your fee and then, you know, you just dance for them. This was a no touch club, but I mean, sometimes guys would try to like grab your boobs or whatever. At first, I didn't know that I could be like, no, like don't touch me. So a lot of guys like got away with like touching my boobs. And then later on, I started being a bitch. And like, I'd be like, I'm going to tell on you. You'd have to leave and I'm going to keep your money. Like,
Really?
yeah, that's what you have to do. You know, you can't let them take advantage of you.
I feel like almost every strip club I've ever been, they're like pretty open-minded about you touching their boobs.
I've gotten in
it
trouble because
depends where you
girls
go.
have sucked my titties in the strip club. The
Really?
strippers fucking
But-
pull my
but
top
you're
down.
You went in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's completely different like game in Miami. Like whenever I danced there, like one time, the other strippers were like sucking my tits in a room. And at the club that I came from, like it's no touching, nothing. It's like super vanilla.
See, I
in
hate
Chicago.
those kind of strip
Yeah,
clubs.
they're
We
so-
went to one when
It's
we were
kind
in
of
Australia
Boston.
that was
It's-
kind of like that too, where it's like there's no like actual sexual vibe. That's why the clubs where the girls are actually fucking for money are the better ones, because then there's actually like a real sexual vibe going on. I hate when you go to the strip club and it just feels like purely transactional. Like
put
there's
in the
no
money.
chance you could hit.
That's what it was. I mean, so those clubs are better for the customers, but these ones are better for the girls where you're actually making more money than the girls that are fucking.
Right.
doing nothing.
I don't know. I mean, they don't need to be fucking, but I like the clubs where it feels like the girls are like partying, like they're actually
Yeah.
having a good time, they're drinking, they're chilling, whatever.
I
you know?
like tried to tip a girl in Boston, and I like put the money in her underwear, and they were like
Yeah.
not happy with how I put the money in her
Oh, yeah,
underwear. I was
that's
like,
what
"Are
the
you
club that I
fucking
was at
kidding
was
me?"
It wasn't even Boston. Chris, what was it? The fucking was it what town was that? The strip club that we went to with Biz? Saugus. No, it was the cabaret.
I guess I can't expect more from that town or whatever that town is.
That was like the most random, like back. It's just like, you know, I grew up in like a town that's kind of like between like a big city and like, you know, a small
Where are you
like
from?
town. I'm from Nashua, New Hampshire, but this was like another like neighboring town that was like sort of similar to the town I grew up in. But when you actually go there after you're used to like living the high life out here in LA and stuff, and you see how beat the girls at the strip club are, and like,
They were pretty. Leave them alone, okay?
no, no, they weren't.
Anyways, I fell in love with one, as I always do, and I couldn't touch her.
Oh my God. Yeah, there's always like one like amazing girl at the strip club that you're like obsessed with. I had like the biggest crush on this girl that worked there,
Really?
but she was like such a bitch. Like she wouldn't even talk to me, and like she'd always like.
She was
flip
probably
her
threatened
hair.
by you
She
'cause
looked
you were
like
the new hot
Ariana, like a
girl.
white version of Ariana Grande. She was
Wow.
like way hotter. than me.
Ariana Grande's not white.
She's Latina, right?
Is she?
No, I actually read online that she's only Italian, but I mean she looks Latina.
Latina. She looks white to me.
like a
I'm
flower.
sorry for making assumptions. I thought she was Latina, but everyone thinks I'm Latina, so I don't fucking care.
Well, you're Middle Eastern, and I love Middle Eastern people.
But you're not actually Middle Eastern, right? You're
I'm
from the Caucasus
Armenian.
region.
It's whatever. Yeah, it's like back. It's not actually the Middle East,
Really?
but it's not.
What's it by?
It's like in Eurasia.
I never looked it up on a map, I'm gonna be honest.
Y'all go look up Armenia on a map.
It's
and
in
just
Eurasia. That's like 1/3 of the earth.
It's next to Turkey.